Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another insightful episode of the Customer Service Show, a fortnightly podcast series where we delve into the world of customer service and unveil the strategies behind delivering exemplary customer service interactions. I'm your host, Meenakshi Arora, Head of Marketing at Search Unify, and I'm thrilled to have you all here today. This season is all about exploring premium support, wherein we aim to dive deep into its significance for enterprises and effective implementation strategies. In case you missed out on our previous episodes, where we discussed the basics of premium support, pricing strategies, and internal partnerships, you can visit our website and catch up on the key components that make up a robust premium support package. So it is www.searchunify.com. Today, we have a special treat for you all. In this episode, we are diving deeper into the financial aspects of premium support. The financial side of premium support is often the linchpin for success. It's where we will uncover the numbers, strategies, and insights that can truly elevate your customer service game. And to discuss all of this in detail, I have joining me two extremely special guests. Hi, Patricia. Patricia, you have met like many times if you've been following our podcast. Patricia is a highly accomplished visionary professional with a distinguished career in building, revitalizing, and optimizing customer support, customer success, renewal sales, technical services, and sustaining engineering organizations to facilitate growth and customer retention. Formerly Group Vice President of Customer Experience at Marketo and Global Head of Support Strategy and Operations at Adobe. Patricia's consulting company, PL Support Solutions, focuses on customer success, premium support, and support optimization strategies. And we have Patricia as an executive advisor on our board. Welcome, Patricia.
Thanks, Meenakshi, for having me.
And we have Steve Quinn, a 30 plus year technology veteran who has held influential positions at industry giants like Apple Computer, HP, Microsoft, Adobe, and NetApp. With a global perspective, he excelled in roles spanning account sales, technical pre-sales, solution sales, operation sales excellence, customer success, and consulting services. Steve's expertise now centers on maximizing value in today's technology landscape, focusing on consumption, renewals, and incremental ARR in hybrid and cloud-native environments. His career showcases adaptability and a relentless pursuit of excellence in a rapidly evolving industry. Welcome, Steve. Glad to have you join us for this episode.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Welcome. So now jumping to the episode, financials are the lifeblood of any business, and in premium support, they become even more critical. At the heart of every successful premium support offering lies a robust framework which embraces the customer's journey, provides value at every touch point, and creates lasting impressions that extend far beyond issue resolution. And as a reminder for our audience, in our podcast series, we have been exploring the different stages of the offer creation process to provide a roadmap to create a successful premium support program. And today, we will be discussing why is it crucial for businesses to consider financial aspects right from the outset when implementing the premium support rollout framework. So, Patricia, as we dive into the financial intricacies of premium support, I'm sure our audience is eager to know what key learnings and takeaways they can expect from today's discussion.
Thanks, Meenakshi. The key takeaways from today's discussion are how to establish profit center goals, key considerations for automating the sales process, best practices for creating an annual support sales plan, setting up a cadence for periodic review of your results, and understanding the drivers to those results and making appropriate adjustments.
Perfect, Patricia. And you mentioned the concept of a profit center and a cost center in the context of customer support. So, could you please elaborate on what exactly this means, and especially in the context of premium support, and how organizations can establish the right metrics and goals to ensure their premium support initiatives actually align with becoming a profit center rather than just a cost center?
Sure. So throughout the season, we've been discussing the transformation from a cost center to a profit center. Today, we'll really focus in on the financial implications. Gaining support approval for and working with your sales team is paramount to a successful program. The good news is that implementing a premium support program makes excellent business sense. So the key is to show the revenue and retention benefits and gain approval for the required support investments to deliver support at a higher level. And Steve, first of all, thanks so much for joining today. Do you have any thoughts on transforming support into a profit center?
Yes, Patricia, and thanks again. Firstly, I agree with you. In many of the organizations I've worked for and with, what I've experienced is that when you're stuck in cost center mode, the financial aspect is all about minimizing exposure. When you flip that to a profit center, there is a complete mindset shift. One which thinks about investment levers, profit and loss, ramp periods, and so on. And importantly, quality of service then starts to play an even more important part. In most cases, to the benefit of the customers. So getting that support from the financial team will completely change the way you start thinking about running your support business.
So, Patricia, for our audience today, could you please share on the specific P&L metrics that should be on every support manager's radar?
Of course. Well, you know that us support leaders love our metrics. So as we become a profit center, here's a few more for you. Revenue seems straightforward. However, there are very specific accounting rules for how companies need to follow to account for revenue, other known as revenue recognition. For annual support subscriptions, revenue is recognized 1/12 every month. However, events such as discounting, concessions, delays in payments, all these things can complicate the way it's calculated. Margin is revenue minus expenses. So tracking margin gives support leaders the business control to balance expenses with support revenue. Attach helps support leaders understand how many and what types of opportunities include support so you can drive improvements over time. Support should also now track premium customer churn, so you help avoid support being peeled off at renewal. And then finally, penetration tracks the amount of the current customer base on premium support level. Obviously, the more customers you have on premium will help you scale over time. And Steve, I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on the importance of these premium metrics and how they can be used in practice.
Yeah, absolutely, Patricia. Let me start with the importance. The ones that we have on this slide that you described, I would say are the essential metrics. The way I think of it is very simple, right? I think of it like driving your car. If you're not keeping score of the vital dashboard stats from your car, like the speed, fuel, the route that you're taking, its temperature, you know what? You may end up halfway to the wrong destination with no fuel and an overheated engine that won't go any further. You've got to think about metrics in that way. What I would add to those metrics is either actual pipeline or derived pipeline once you have your attached metrics that you can use as a leading indicator for future state versus only reporting the news with the lagging indicators. Now, the second part of your question is usage in practice. Well, primarily, they allow you to shape the business. And by that, I mean understand the annual OPEX envelopes required, growth aspirations, future investment needs, and offer development. So, once again, super important that you have the metrics in place and you're tracking them.
So, Steve, amazing that I really love the way you explained this. So, Patricia, when we talk about tracking financial metrics and premium support, how can organizations strike the right balance between tracking revenue and maintaining a comprehensive view of overall growth objectives?
As we start tracking the financial metrics, we now need to understand the balance and interdependencies with the result of our traditional operational metrics. For example, looking at the relationship between CSAT and cost, we have the additional business lever to allocate resources between standard and premium support to make sure that we're delivering higher satisfaction rates to our paying customers. In addition, the most important driver to support retention is perceived value. So quality service, setting transparent expectations, and following up with service reviews, all these things can improve retention.
Perfect. And Patricia, when it comes to implementing sales automation and financial tracking within the premium support framework, There are several critical phases, such as determining the level of resourcing required, obtaining necessary approvals, launching the initiative, and then continually measuring quarterly results. So, can you please walk us through these phases and share insights on how organizations can effectively align them with the sales processes to ensure the success of their premium support program?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. To enable financial tracking, improve sales results, and minimize discounting, support sales needs to be integrated at every point of the sales process. So from a sales perspective, if an opportunity that includes a support SKU closes, that amount is included in the support bookings. Using an auto-attach process encourages sales to discuss support sales early in the sales process. And making sure that support leadership is identified in the system as an approver will minimize discounting. In fact, I would not advise having sales leaders own any part of the support sales approvals, as they're not accountable for the support margin. Steve, do you have any tips or tricks for improving financial tracking or sales results by incorporating support sales into the sales process?
Yeah, actually, Patricia, I do. But let's start and break it down with sales results. Support should be treated with the same or higher level of importance as any other unit or SKU in your mix of what a seller has in their sales bag. In the same way, when a new SKU is added, sales need to be enabled, both on the customer value proposition and how to include it as they are building out customer proposals. In my experience, auto-attach with exception management is the best way from a tools perspective. Now, even in cases where you build a specialist support sales muscle, in other words, put in specialist sellers for support, enablement of your mainstream sales is still incredibly important. It's essential. Now, also, compensation drives behavior. Sales comp needs to be factored into your financial model, and it can be weighted either higher or lower in sales mix depending on what you're trying to drive and what you're trying to achieve. The second part was financial tracking. In simple terms, if it's set up as an SKU or multiple SKUs depending on the offers, then it makes tracking a whole lot simpler, within your tracking systems. And different companies have different systems. As long as you can isolate those support offerings, the tracking becomes much more delightful, and you can get a better handle on how the business is actually going. So tracking, totally important.
So tracking is very, very important. And Patricia, if you can elaborate on what a comprehensive financial plan for premium support should encompass, what are those crucial inclusion elements?
Sure. We've discussed the importance of partnering with the financial team for program success. Here I wanted to illustrate how to align the financial planning calendar so you can get approvals and budget goals all approved at the same time. Ideally, it works well to socialize a new program and set financial goals by aligning with the company's fiscal planning. This works best because material changes such as a profit center transition, it's easier when a customer is setting up new sales goals and new expense goals. In addition, sales will be setting a new sales plan, commission structure, and initiative budgets. So I recommend getting a new premium program and financial goals approved before the budget is approved, then targeting the launch at the beginning of the fiscal year, and adding enablement sessions to the annual sales kickoff meeting. Once launched, support sales results should be reviewed frequently, usually at an executive level in a quarterly business review, and then maybe a formal half-year review to assess status and adjust resourcing or planning as needed. Steve, I know you have a lot of experience launching new service offerings. Can you talk about the best way to get a new service approved and aligned with the financial calendar?
Yeah, so Patricia, my biggest learning here is start as early as you possibly can. Just think of it as if you're running a business unit bringing a product to market. You have different widgets that make up the complete offer, and you need to ensure that you have the supply chain and the costs for all of them lined up and ready to go with a go-to-market plan that makes financial sense and is fully signed off. So start early.
So the biggest learning is start early, as Steve says. And Patricia, any tips and tricks for the support teams to get rolling on a support bookings plan? And any starting points with respect to mapping it to their respective sales plans?
Sure. There's a few ways to arrive at a support sales plan, but whichever you approve, just to reinforce what Steve said, make sure you're reviewing with your financial team at every step of the process. If you're able to get the fiscal year sales plan or even a preliminary plan, it's easiest to take the product sales plan for each of the segments and then apply an estimated support attach rate. If you can't get this, the best way to do it is look at your last year's results and then add an estimated growth rate.
Perfect. And if you could elaborate on the significance of setting up a margin goal within this plan?
Okay, so now we've aligned with the financial planning calendar. We've established a support sales plan. Now we need to set up an expense budget so we can arrive at a margin goal. For margin, I do recommend calculating a gross margin that includes all the support expenses, and then just a premium margin, which only includes the premium support expenses. Steve, can you provide some insights on establishing and evolving support margin and financial goals?
Yeah, and Patricia, it depends on how you're investing in the offer. There are two poles of thinking, and obviously there is the area between those poles. The first is a massive investment upfront to break into the market with a big splash, or the second is conservative investment upfront where you will tiptoe to test the viability. In both of those scenarios, you can end up with either high or low percentage margins, albeit very different dollar values associated with those percentage margins. In the case of the first, your risk is higher as it automatically assumes you're going to succeed with high sales numbers that will cover your large investment and still leave a healthy margin percent. In the second case, your exposure is less, but the threat is you don't have any scale to the compelling customer case is not as strong a buy. The reality is that in your first year, in either scenario, if you break even, you are doing well. But then as you scale, 70% margin is not unrealistic because you build knowledge bases, the cost per case reduces, your resources can be tiered, and you can provide greater coverage, etc., etc. So, as I said, it depends on how you're taking it to market and how you're investing from the get-go, Patricia.
Awesome. And Patricia, you mentioned the importance of treating the finance team as a partner when it comes to premium support. So could you please elaborate on how organizations can collaborate with their finance teams to prepare a support profit and loss statement and effectively analyze their financial results in the context of premium support?
That's right. As a part of the quarterly business review that we discussed earlier, we need to partner with finance to get all the reports on the results and making sure that the finance team buys in and validates these numbers. So here's just a really simple example of a format you can use to present your results, add business commentary, and also discuss future plans. Steve, based on your experience, can you describe this process and the importance of the business review?
Yes. Patricia, I spend a lot of time looking and reviewing this type of data, and it is essential. It's data heavy, but as I said, it's got to be done. At face value, you're looking at the rear view mirror. It's telling you where you are at the end of the quarter, and it gives you an indicator of the health of the business during that lagging quarter. But the single most important part is the dialogue that you have when doing the review. The reason being, it teases out the forward action plan, which is driven by the insight that you've gained in the lagging quarter and what needs to change in your upcoming quarter. It's like, what do we stop? What do we start? What do we continue in order to be successful going forward?
Patricia, as we implement premium support initiatives and track financial data, there are bound to be challenges and potential areas where things might not go as planned. So based on your experience, could you please share your insights on what are the common issues or things that can go wrong in the premium support framework? Also, how can organizations effectively analyze these challenges and identify areas for mitigation and course corrections to ensure the continued success of their premium support program?
Yes, as in any business, you should expect challenges. The best way to minimize the impact and continue to drive improvement is to identify shortcomings early and make adjustments. For example, discounting. It can be a real challenge for support sales, and it can eat into your margin. If you have an introductory promotion, you can expect a higher percentage discount sales first year and maybe adjust that for your second year. If discounting is higher than you expect, I recommend evaluating your approval process, getting feedback on the program value itself, checking the sales enablement and making sure that they're well trained, analyzing the results to determine root cause, and then setting up a plan to drive business improvements. Steve, do you have any insights or anecdotes that you would share about overcoming these types of support challenges?
Well, Patricia, as you start out and you're relying on mainstream sellers to sell the package, the first obstacle to overcome is objections that it eats into customers' available budgets, and therefore it should not be attached or sold. In many cases, customers have separate budgets for support, so the sales objections are not always the case. If that is the time of the sale, you have to think about driving value to ensure renewals, minimize churn, and actually have packages that enable upsell. The way to do it is through regular, proactive reviews, quality of incident management, and mutual success plans with the customer.
Perfect. And Patricia, we've explored various aspects of premium support. This includes financials, metrics, and adjustments. And now, if we look ahead, what growth opportunities can organizations unlock, both in terms of enhancing customer support experiences through premium support initiatives and expanding their business horizons?
Sure, here's a really simple example of the tremendous growth opportunity a successful premium program can provide. In this model, I assumed one support level at 15% of ARR, an enterprise product of $50K, a starting customer count of 2,000, 20% sales growth, and a 90% customer retention rate. Here's what a 3-year growth plan would look like if we were to upsell 10% of the install base and include support in 50% of the new business opportunities. Calculating this out, we can see year 1 upsells and new business sales for support sales. In year 2 and 3, we have similar upsell and new business, however, we add renewals. So you can see with the premium customer count, it grows from 360 to 504, and support revenue grows from 2.7 million to 6.7 million in just 3 years. So putting a similar model together and achieving projected results can certainly earn you a seat at the strategic table. Steve, now this is just a fictitious model. Can you share any real-life commentary regarding support subscription growth potential?
Patricia, while your model is a fictitious model as you described, and it looks very appealing, it's not so far from reality if you get all the components of operating the business working in an aligned way. And that includes the product sale and customer growth to start with. 2 of the organizations I've worked with in the past have managed to achieve fast growth using the model you described. And as we've highlighted along that journey, you hit inflection points through scale, which actually improve margins, and it lights up the investments in delivery resources and infrastructure.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Patricia, for joining us. Your insights have been truly, truly invaluable. And as we conclude this enlightening conversation, make sure to save the date for our upcoming episode. We'll be diving into the intricate realm of premium support tools and technologies. And I assure you, it's an episode you would not want to miss. And well, there you have it, everyone, a thought-provoking exploration into the world of premium support financials, where we have uncovered how the right blend of financial strategy and partnerships can truly make a difference. And if you have any questions or feedback related to premium support financials, we encourage you to reach out to us at customerserviceshow@searchunify.com. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep supporting your customers with excellence. We'll catch you in the next episode of the Customer Service Show. Stay tuned. Take care.